In this video, I'm going to talk to you about the advantages and disadvantages of being directly authorised with the FCA. Thanks very much indeed for tuning in to another video on the Gary Dash channel. Please make sure that you subscribe and you like this video. And if you have any questions, don't forget to leave a comment as I go through. Now, before we get into it, what is directly authorised and what is appointed representative? You know, an appointed representative, well, actually, let me do directly authorised. A directly authorised firm means that me, as the owner of the business, the principal as it's called, is directly responsible to the Financial Conduct Authority for the rules and the regulations and making sure that the business adheres to those rules and regulations. Now, what I could do is go and recruit you, for example, as a firm, as a business, as a limited company, and appoint you as a representative of my brokerage, Active Brokers Limited. So for example, you could be Joe Bloggs Mortgages, authorised and regulated by Active Brokers Limited, who are authorised and regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority. Now, as an appointed representative, what that means is that you have to do business the way in which I tell you. You have to use my systems, my processes. You have to follow our sales process. You know, you will be responsible for your own website, but we would have to check and make sure that it adheres to the guidelines. You would have to make sure that, you know, you're in charge of your own entity in the sense of recruiting your team, managing your finances, generating your leads. But when it comes to the Financial Conduct Authority, the rules, the regulations, the customer outcomes, making sure that the advisors are compliant, then as a directly authorised firm, we would be responsible for making sure that you do that. So many appointed representatives work for a network, and a network is a directly authorised firm. And that network may have 5, 10, 15, 100 different appointed representatives working underneath them. So it's like a funneling system and a channeling system. You know, the network takes a slice of your business, and they are also responsible for every aspect of the compliance. So you have to do things their way. Some networks are harsh, some networks are a little bit easier. Everybody has a different interpretation of the law and of the rules. So you can often find there are networks out there that have different pros and cons. Some are good with social media, some are really bad with social media and don't let you use it at all. Some have a specialism in financial services, i.e. IFA world, whereas others have an interest more so in the mortgage side of things. So if you want to be an AR, it's about finding the right network for you. Now, the advantages and disadvantages of being directly authorised is that you are completely in charge of sailing your own ship. You decide the systems, the processes, you have to monitor the customer outcomes. You have to make sure that everything within the business is adhering to the regulations. And you as the principal, or me as the principal, interprets the law and the regulations the way in which I see fit. And I can then make sure that the business works in line with the guidelines. So the advantage of being directly authorised is I have the decision of everything. The disadvantage is I am then wholly and solely responsible, and it's on my head be it, so to speak. Now, there's no one above me, shall we say, like a network, making sure from a bigger perspective that we're in charge of it. Now, that doesn't mean that I have an outsource, or that doesn't mean that I'm at risk, because all I have effectively done is I work with a compliance firm who help me and assist me and guide me, much like a network would, on what we should and could be doing to make sure that we follow the regulations. Now, what it means though is that we do have additional administration work. You know, we have to make sure that our files are checked. We do a file check, but there's also an advice check. So we pay for an advice check from the compliance firm to get a third-party perspective, whereas normally the network would do that for you. But it does mean that we do have freedom and autonomy to do what business we should choose. For example, my brokerage works in difficult spaces, buy-to-lets, property investment, portfolio landlords, tricky self-employed circumstances, high net worth, which isn't right for a lot of networks. It's just not the type of business that they like doing. You know, one of the big things as a mortgage broker is you have to offer the lowest possible product based on the sourcing system that you look at. Well, a lot of our stuff isn't on the first page, let alone, no, isn't even on the, the 10th page, let alone the first page. So from our perspective, we operate in a tricky space. And what would happen is if we were underneath a network, they would require us to use somebody like a packager, which is a whole conversation for another day. But they're like a broker for brokers, shall we say. And I don't want to do that. We know from my background, Woolwich, Alexander Hall, Connells, running a brokerage as sales and compliance manager back in 2005 before going directly authorised in 2008. I know the rules and the regulations, they haven't changed much. Any insights that I need, I can get from a variety of different sources. I now mentor and coach over 150 financial services professionals on building a more successful business. So not only do I get the insights of my compliance firm, but I get the insights from my mentees who are with a wide variety of networks that are out there. And I help my mentees change networks. I help my mentees go from our appointed representatives to being directly authorised and giving them the support in building the business building the business better. One of the things that also is a consideration is cost. I want to sail my own ship. I'm happy to take on the extra responsibility. And I believe from the research that I've done, I make more profit as a result of being directly authorised and utilising outsourcers effectively within compliance and within regulation. Whereas underneath a network, you're more controlled. You've got a big brother, but they take a high percentage fee for doing that. And there is a wide variety of networks out there who take a different percentage from your business. And if choosing the right network is about making sure that they can help you build the business that you want to build. I've been an appointed representative. I set up a secondary limited company in 2008. I tested appointed representative AR world, and it just wasn't for me. The duplication of administration, the extra effort involved, the difficulty in relation to the way their systems and processes worked versus how I want the system processes to work. I'm a massive fan of automation, of streamlining processes, of saving valuable time so that we can focus on better customer outcomes, as well as better customer experience, as well as minimizing the effort and the aggravation for my advisors to get the job done. So the thing I will leave you with, no matter where you are in your journey, before you become directly authorized, before you even think about running your own business, you need to get experience in the financial services industry. I was Woolwich, Connells, Alexander Hall, a brokerage in Colchester, running somebody else's business from 12 months as sales compliance manager and building that from zero to £100,000 a month inside 11 months before I went self-employed. I was then an appointed representative for 2 years before going directly authorised, just before the credit crunch hit. So the experience that I had before making that decision was wide and was vast and was deep. So make sure that before you make this decision that you have the experience, you have the knowledge, and you are 100% confident that it's the right decision for you and the future of your business, your team, and your clients. Thanks very much indeed for tuning in to this video on Is DA Life? The advantages and disadvantages, is it right for you? Make sure you subscribe to the channel, you like the video, and you hit me up with any comments or questions that you have. See you again on another one.